had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Carolyn Covington, top beauty industry leader across the world and mentor to thousands, including me. Come on and join the conversation.
Well, you know, as a child, I always knew I was going to be a hairstylist.
Yes.
You know, how you get those dolls at Christmas time and the next day she's got an asymmetrical hairstyle or braids or something intricate going on.
Yes.
So then I decided that there was an opportunity came to go to Bladensburg High School for vocation. They started in the 10th grade, so you go 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes.
And I got accepted. And that's where the journey began.
Yes.
And so I started in school, and I would go to school all day, and then I would leave and catch the bus to work, to a hair salon, of course. Always been in and around here my entire life.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's kind of where, coming out at 18, getting licensed at 18
Wow.
was really a awesome opportunity.
Yes.
You know, so I'm very grateful for that beginning.
Wow. And so right now, how would you encourage others, like women, and especially girls anyway, they're coming up and they want to be a cosmetologist? Should they look for a school like this? Where can they find a school where they can actually finish by the 12th grade with having a cosmetology license?
So if you have a daughter who is very interested in the beauty field of any kind, makeup, hair, you want to go ahead and encourage them to do this at a very young age. Doesn't mean they don't have to go to college afterwards, you know, but it's good to have something, a trade under your belt, and it has to be a passion. So it has to be something that's heartfelt. You have to have a craft. You need a little talent for it. But I think it's awesome opportunity if you can get it then, because afterwards it's going to cost you a little.
Yes.
But you know, it's a great, rewarding career.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
was it difficult? Was it hard? Was it challenging to go to school, high school at the same time, and then take a cosmetology course? Because that's a lot of material and information and a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, but you know, for me, the cosmetology was what I was really focused on. You know, as a child, I always said, I'm going to be a famous hairstylist, travel the world,
Yes.
and have a fleet of salons. And so it was just like dreams to come to reality. So I'm a big dreamer, you know, always have been, always will be. And I just had to push for that dream. So I had to master the other 3 classes as well to graduate.
Okay.
But cosmetology was always just on the forefront for me.
Wow.
You know, and working afterwards. I'd work all day. I mean, after I got off from school, I'd work until 9, 10 o'clock at night and still go home and get up and go to school next morning. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's good. And you know, and you can, that's amazing, because when you have vision and you have a burning passion to do something, it's during those many hours, it doesn't bother you. You know,
Oh, no.
You know, it's like you're just doing this. And I remember a long time ago, you know, when you have an idea or a vision or something that you want to do, you'll wake up, you think about it. You go to
Yes.
sleep thinking about it,
Yes.
you know, and it's the difference between a passion and something, you know, or, you know, some people go to school to be an RN and they wind up doing something else, you know, their passion. Sort of
Yeah.
they're an artist or something, you know, they go to school to be an RN and then I've known some people who have degrees and they left that and followed their passion.
Right,
Sometimes.
absolutely,
So that's
absolutely.
amazing. So let's talk about in-flight. How did that start? Let's talk about it. And where?
Okay,
was your
so
first location?
Bladensburg, Maryland. After I graduated, I worked several different chain salons so that I could learn the corporate structure of how to structure a hair salon. I didn't want just any old little place. I already knew I was going to have a fleet of salons, so I had to go in and learn how to be a manager, very young age. And then at the age of 21, the opportunity came to purchase a salon that was in that area, right across the street from the high school that I went to. So I mean, how great was that to be able to give back to the students that were in cosmetology right across the street to come over and work with me, and they did. So it's really amazing because everybody said, well, where did you get the name In-Flight from? And so right at the time when I was purchasing the salon, my trip was due. Every year I took a trip to London or somewhere to go and advance myself. And that's so important that you go and get advanced training. So it was time to go to London, and I said, well, I can't put the trip on the back burner. I still have to do what I have to do. So I was like, while I'm away, I'll be thinking of this fantastic name, and I'm a concept girl. So it has to have a concept as well with it. So I was away for 4 weeks, and I wasn't thinking about anything about a salon at that time. I was trying to get my training and enjoying myself, okay, and shopping until I could drop.
Yes.
And so anyway, when I got back, when I got on the plane to come back, I can remember I was at Heathrow Airport, and I was rushing as always, jumped in the seat, first class. I mean, I was really spending money back then. And I went to fasten my seatbelt, and the young lady said, "You are now in flight." And I looked at the guy next to me, and I'm like, "That's it, that's it."
Wow.
And he was like, "That's what?" "My salon, in-flight hair salon." So anyway, I closed my eyes, flew back to JFK, and all the way back, I was just creating this whole salon scenario concept, everyone wearing uniforms and flight suits, how I was gonna have the salon designed. The front desk was a cockpit, you know, boarding passes, you know, a whole concept behind it, because people believe in your visions, they see your vision, they wanna be a part of things. So everything I've ever done has always been a team effort, and I invite you to be a part of it. And that's what makes it successful. And then from there, an opportunity, 2 years into it, a lot of other things happened in my life as a stylist and a salon owner. I had an opportunity to be part of a huge photo session and do models for a magazine that was coming out called Black Passion. So I did my 5 models. I felt so great about it. I'm like, oh, I know I'm in. And so at the end of the session, I said, well, I need a picture. I need a promo picture. So just go ahead and take a shot of me. So I took my picture. So the book was developed in Japan. Now, this is a big international magazine. So it was going to be, they were going to do the selection in Japan. Well, when they brought it back to DC to premiere it, when I got there to the premiere, I was late. Everybody's, "You're in it, you're in it." I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in it. And I was on the cover of it. I was thinking, which one of my models is in it? Who's in it?
Yes.
I was on the cover, and that just did it for me. I mean, that book was sold internationally everywhere, and I was on the cover of it. And so I became that face for the very first edition of the Black Passion magazine, which I think they're probably on like the 70th edition now. That's a very long time ago.
Yes.
And it just sort of started moving things for me, you know, shaking up the world for me. And then from there, I had an opportunity to come to North Carolina. Never had been to North Carolina other than passing through on the way to Atlanta, because we go to Atlanta for the hair show every year.
Yes. And what year was that?
That was 1984. I came to North Carolina, and I opened In-Flight Salon downtown Salisbury Street. And from there, as I hired people that were very good at business as well as hair, I partnered with them, and we opened up our chain of In-Flight Salons. So we had Durham, Wake Forest, Greenville, North Carolina. Then I doubled back to Richmond, Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Amazing.
So we were just one big old team of In-Flight Hair Salon, and we traveled and did classes, education for other stylists.
Well, you know what, that blows me away, because I remember, I think it was the late 1980s or maybe the early 1990s. I remember someone saying, there's a woman in Raleigh, and she owns In-Flight. And they were talking about how beautiful that salon was and how you had it going on. That is amazing.
Yeah, we just wanted to put North Carolina on the map, and I think that's what we did through the salons, training, doing hair, being magazine editorial. I mean, we were in all the magazines at Raleigh, North Carolina, In-Flight Hair Salon, and those things just helped us to create the buzz that we needed for marketing and branding to make the business successful.
So after all these years, 40 years of being in the beauty industry and the stores, the products, traveling everywhere and doing all of those things that people would just dream of to do, we'll just talk about your life-changing news, the year 2000.
Okay, well, the year 2000, actually it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I wanted to venture into the spa industry. You know, I don't stay still long, you know? So it's like, okay, here's my new horizons. And I had the opportunity to start Jolie the Day Spa in Cameron Village, and there's Jolie the Day Spa in Bethesda, Maryland, and in Atlanta. And it was just like, wow, this is like the biggest thing could ever happen. I thought I had really reached the stars that I'd been striving to reach. Right then, I got my news that I had retinitis pigmentosa.
Okay, and what is that?
It is a hereditary genetic eye disease that eventually you lose your sight. It starts out where you lose all of your peripheral vision and you only have central. So they take your driver's license because you can't drive if you can't see what's to the left, to the right, what's at the top and what's at the bottom. You are colorblind, so now, but it worked out perfect because hairstylists wear all black anyway, and I still wear all black.
Yes,
so
yes.
I can keep it together that way.
Yes.
And at night or in dim lighting, you only see silhouettes. So you don't see any details.
Okay.
You know, and I've been a detailed person my whole life. Of course, I've been styling hair, doing makeup, wrapping everybody up all beautiful on the outside, and you know, but it was okay until he told me it's an incurable disease. There's no cure for it.
So that was devastating.
Devastating. So I got to thinking. I said, well, you know what? That's okay. I still have plenty I have to do. I just got to do it a little faster. Not that I wasn't already speeding, you know.
Yeah.
So with that, I just kind of put it on the back burner. I was in denial.
Okay.
So I continued on my journey. So I did a couple years, 2 years at Jolie, and then we were purchased. So I got to be a part of a huge acquisition. An investment company purchased 50 day spas across the country, and we were one of them. After I left there, I didn't want to stop. I knew if I stopped that it was going to take a toll over me. My life was going to totally change. I'd get stuck. So I just continued on. So I purchased the Elegance Day Spa, and I jumped right in there and staffed that and kept going. And then I purchased.
I remember that deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
in North Raleigh. Then I went to Durham and I purchased the Body Cafe, and I jumped in there, and I was working both of those at the same time. And then I had an opportunity to help a young lady with Studio 10. And then I purchased one of those and with a partner, and it had a name change later, it's Salon 10, and it's still in existence. And then I went up on Creedmoor Road and did Aqua Salon and Spa.
Yes.
And
that was beautiful.
Yeah,
inside.
I
Yes,
enjoyed it. And I was just like doing this thing, trying to keep going, trying to figure out what's going to happen when there's no vision, you know. So, because they couldn't tell me when.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to make this work. But it came a time where I realized it was time to go home. You know, time to close down shop. I had fulfilled that 5-year lease and wasn't about to sign another one,
Yes.
not knowing where, you know, I would be in another 5 years. So I had to close the salon and bring it on home.
Yes. Now,
And that was devastating.
devastating. And so you went through a depression, and how long was that?
Yeah, I had to take a year off, you know, and it's really interesting to go into that dark place because I'd been there so many times with other people.
Okay.
And, you know, all of my staff and different people that I've helped through their depression, but I've never, ever had a downside in my entire life. My life has just been great, you know, totally blessed from a child all the way up.
Yes.
And so I had to fall into that dark place. I took a year and I sat right here in this house and wrestled with it because I'm that fix-it girl, you know. I fixed your life, my life, everybody's life in the salon.
Yes.
You know, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fix it myself.
Yeah.
And that's when God spoke to me and he let me know, you gotta let it go. Let me take control of every little detail of your life. Take some time off. Give yourself a break, you know?
Yes.
Oh, so that's what, and he let me know that you can't just always help. You need to accept help as well. And that was one of those things where I just never really ever reached out for any help with anyone. And I had to realize I had to get up and go and seek help.